I really don't know where I'm going with this today. I'm just going to kind of wing it. I've been putting it off because this is a can of sturgeon. Sturgeon! Who would have thought that you could get cans of sturgeon? Well, of course, I thought of that. This is not cheap stuff. Can't even remember how much it costs, but it's like $8-9 a can. So I wanted this to be really special, but you know what? Nothing seems to ever really be special. So let's just do this thing. Sturgeon in own juice. That really leaves a bad picture in my mind. What is sturgeon juice? Do you make a smoothie out of that? I don't think so. Does the sturgeon make its own juice? I hope not. Anyhow, it doesn't really sound all that appetizing. I'd rather have it in some kind of seed oil even, or better yet, olive oil. But I don't even know what to expect from the taste of sturgeon. I've had it before smoked, but then it's great, but anything that is, got smoke flavor to it is outstanding. So this is something that I picked up in a European food store down south. They had all kinds of really cool stuff there. A lot of fish. They eat a lot of fish over there. This happens to be a product of Armenia. You don't get that too often now, do you? Armenia, I think it's over in one of those Balkan countries, maybe former Soviet Union. I don't know if they were part of it or not. Probably over by the Black Sea. Black Sea is a big place for sturgeon. Of course, they cut the roe or the eggs out and make caviar. And so I suppose to do that, you've pretty much expired the sturgeon, so you might as well chop it up into fillets or whatever. But pretty cool picture on the label. And I think we better just get the old thumbs up right now, because when I open it up, that's going to destroy that pretty picture. So there you go. Sturgeon in own juice. Very pretty picture of a sturgeon. They're these really antique, prehistoric looking creatures. They look kind of like dinosaurish. They got armor all over them. Big old suction mouth that comes out. They live down in the deep, cold waters. They live forever. They get really long, except now that the Soviet Union broke up and everything got lawless over there in Russia. They've pretty much gone extinct on some of the really nice ones, and the big ones I think are pretty rare. I would imagine this was farm raised. Let's take a look and see what it's got on the ingredients. Sturgeon, of all things. Salt, water, contains fish. Love reading that on the labels. It's interesting. Store in a cool, dry place. Keep refrigerated after opening. I wouldn't leave this in the refrigerator too long, I don't think. And it even gives you the full address of this place in Armenia if you want to buy another can. I don't suppose you could actually do that practically. Okay, and we won't read the date on it. It doesn't really matter because I usually don't care. There's nothing puffing up on that. So here we go. I'm just going to jump into this and see what turns out. If I don't know how to eat it at first look, we'll figure something out. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I can actually save that label. It's not printed on the can. It's a piece of cardboard just kind of, ooh, okay. I guess I got to lift the tab. Hey, a little air went into it. That's what you want it to do, right? Intuition, they call that. All right, awesome. I can save the label. That'd be cool if they did that with more things. And this label on the outside is a paper one stuck to it. No noticeable smell. It's definitely in juice and not oil because it wants to bubble out of that can real quick. Oh, let's not make any mistake on this one. You know what? We're going to take precaution, as I like to be a cautious fellow. I'm repurposing my old coffee cups, and I'm going to expel. Oh my goodness, that definitely looks like fish juice. It just does look like, clam juice. It looks like that milky, swillish looking watery stuff in the jar, and it smells like clams. Well, that's what this stuff looks like. So I'm kind of thinking that it's just the juice that comes off the meat. Nothing wrong with that. You're going to eat that meat anyways, so Why not eat the juice? Let's say we've got some extra paper towels today. We're gonna clean that off. I might just save that whole can. I thought of making a sardine can collection of sardines and other types of cans. I'm such a collector. That's what I call my museum room of all this stuff I've saved since I was a kid. At some point, you just gotta call it quits. If I could instantly save all the cans that I had already consumed, I could make them into like some big display. But I get 3 or 4 of them saved up, and then I think, you know, what's the point of this? Throw it away. This is a heavy-duty lid on this thing. Doesn't open as easy. Let's just say it's not for amateurs. All right, we're going to curl that up and drop it right in there, the refuse can. Now, these are some meaty chunks. Does not smell fishy. Does not look bad at all. What are your thoughts on that? Make a comment down below if you would, just so I know that you're out there and that you're actually thinking about this. I do appreciate all the comments. I can't respond to them all. I try to respond to at least a few, but I do read them all. I appreciate it. So, and leave me a thumbs up if you would too, just so I know that this is something that's worthwhile and people want to actually watch it. Because I have fun doing these videos, but if nobody wants to really watch them, if they're just stumbling on these things by accident, then it kind of makes me feel like I shouldn't be doing them. But I do appreciate those of you who are faithful watchers and commenters. Makes my day. That looks like really good. That looks like some very light, fluffy, white-colored salmon. I broke it apart, and it still doesn't have a very fishy smell. Okay, let's just take a chomp of that. I don't know if that's skin on there, or what is that stuff? It must be skin. Boy, I would think the skin would be a lot heavier than that. Let's just remove that in case that taints the flavor. I don't want to start out disappointed here. So, all right. Wow. Wow. No kidding. Wow. This is like very soft, mild salmon. Let's leave one of the skin on. Wow, this stuff is awesome. I'll be going back to that store again. Wow, seriously, folks. This is not what I expected. I expected this to be kind of a bland, cod-flavored thing, because they're a cold water bottom feeder too. Wow, this is very close to smoked salmon without the smoke flavor. This is really intense stuff. This is awesome. It's really clean. There's not, you know, a bunch of the offal floating around in there. Of course, we dumped it out, but I didn't really see anything in there that was gutsy at all. Man, it's just light, fluffy, and there's a definite oil content in there that is not distasteful at all. I mean, honestly, I thought this might be carp. Tastes like carp. Have you ever had carp? Carp has pretty good flavor. A massive amount of bones, but it leaves this oily, what do you call it, like uh, the white kind of fatty substance that that's used for cooking. Oh, it has a really bad, not a flavor, but a feeling in your mouth of just oil and grease covering everything. But honestly, carp has really good flavor. Wow, this is good. Let me see if I can get the whole thing out. So you can take a look at that. You can look at the skin on that, and you can see there's a little bit dark markings of the pattern that's on the fish. And then you can take a look at that. You can see that's the one side sliced as a tube, one whole side right there. Guts are in the middle, taken out where the fork is. So it's about a 4 to 5 inch diameter fish. I imagine this thing would be only maybe a 3-footer. So it probably is likely farm raised. I don't think that you can keep the small ones probably anywhere in the world because these things are quite depleted wherever they are. I don't know if you guys want to just sit here and watch me chomp this whole thing down, but maybe I'll finish this piece and then I'll go and hide in the corner and finish the rest of it before anybody catches me. This is just outstanding. I'm gonna throw it on a cracker here once to see if the added salt and texture of the crunchy cracker does anything, but not a bone to be found. Is that a bone right there? Okay, there is a bone right there. I lied. There is a bone to be found, but that's about the only one I see. There's not full of rib bones or anything like that. How do they do that? How do they pull them bones out of there? Oh, boy. There is something about eating with a cracker I like, but honestly, the cracker took away the flavor, some of the flavor of the fish, overrode it with the cracker, but I do like my substrates. I am not going to add anything to this. I can see why they don't put it in any kind of oil because it would ruin the actual flavor of this fish. I don't know how you'd want to eat it any other way than just like this. Man, is it good. We'll put an extra amount on there. Now I am going to take the skin off. Which for anybody who's a little squeamish might not like the looks of that. The reason I'm taking the skin off is just because these are bottom feeders, and especially if they're farm raised, they do accumulate a lot of toxins. And anything from the Black Sea or the Caspian Sea or the Baltic area like that, from what I understand, there's a lot of toxic stuff out there, and especially for the bottom feeder because that's where they pick that all up. So with the amount of fish that I eat, I do have to take a few precautions. So that was a skinless. This will be a skinless one. Disclose the location of this store, by the way. I believe it's called European Foods. It's in Bradenton, Florida. It's on Highway 41. It's the business road, the business district that goes right through Bradenton, Florida. Bradenton is just 10 minutes south of Tampa. You won't be able to miss this store if you Google it for sure. It's right on the main drag there in a little shopping center. The guy that's been in there for 3 years since I've been going in there doesn't speak hardly a word of English. And he's not very helpful, but don't worry about that. I think it's just the way he's a bit shy. But they've got an amazing selection of different fish from that area and a lot of other kind of foods too as well. So hurry down there, especially if you're in the area, and pick up a can of this and let me know what you think of it. I suppose they catch these things and cut them up at a certain size so they'll fit the curl of the can. So there's that radius fits just right in there. But I'm going to leave it at that. This was a major league surprising thumbs up. Next trip down to Florida or wherever I find these at a European food store or anywhere else, I think I'm going to stack up about 4, 5, 6 of these cans. That's getting pretty extreme, but at least several of them, because this stuff is out of the park good. So until next time, thanks for watching.